welcome back to World of Tanks with the Captain. I am on Serene Coast, pre 9.0 changes. This is my Su85b. I've got the Su85 unlocked. I'm just trying to train up my crew so they're good enough that they have 6th sense before I end up dumping them in that tank. And then I'm going to try and go down the alternative tank destroyer line, because everyone else seems to drive the ISUs and the 704s, so I want to buck that trend, and I'm going to go down the other line, and you'll be able to see what those tanks are like. But I'm not quite there yet. I'm actually further down the line with my Jagdpanzer IV towards the Jagdpanther than I am down the Russian side. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. I am loving this tank, however, though. It's completely unbalanced. It's just a bit of a joke of a tank. It shoots so fast, it drives fast, it turns fast, it aims pretty fast. The rate of fire is great, the penetration is great, the damage is tier 5 damage. There's really nothing you can say that's too bad about this tank. I mean, it has no armor, but I mean, with the way tank destroyers are in this game, it's amazing. Like, I have a 73 win % rate after, what, I'm at 50 games in this thing now. And I think I'm around 65 or 70 kills to 15 or 20 deaths, something like that. So yeah, it's just a colossal joke that the way they balance this tank, but it's in the game. That's the way it is, so I'll take it, I guess. Didn't have a really great shot at that T-40. You'll see in this game, most of my team ends up doing just about 1 shot into the enemy, sometimes 2 shots. They really didn't end up doing a heck of a lot, and it left me and the artillery really to do the lion's share of the damage, which doesn't always make a lot of sense, since I'm tier 4 and pretty heavy tier 5 presence in this game. Missed that shot there in the M4, and I don't know what was in front of him. There must have been something, because I took a few shots at that M4 and he didn't go down, and he wasn't even getting hit, and it wasn't telling me I was bouncing on him either. So I knew he was coming back in that bush, so I just blind fired it. It's one of the weird things that happened to me in this game, where I was just like, not entirely sure how much of the tank I could actually see. Right now we're losing. It's 4-5. But you can see in the map that most of our heavy tanks are on the other side, so I just gotta try and keep this side alive. And there isn't really a heck of a lot down there. There's an M4 and a T40, and there's a Wolverine coming through the middle, but I don't have a shot, so I switch back to the M4. And I shouldn't have taken that shot. That was a stupid shot to take. And once again, I think that shot went left and hit the church. That is a church, right? I don't know, it looks like a church. I missed again. M4, I don't know. I couldn't seem to hit him. It was kind of odd. Come on. This Wolverine's getting close. I need to be able to secure some of these enemies. So I take out the T-40. That's good. And then I have a shot at the Wolverine, and it missed. And that one, I don't know where that went. Went into oblivion. I had some not so great luck in this game, and I think that shot went in on that M4. Now we've got my doppelganger, the Su85b on their team. Don't have a shot at him, but I really, it would be great if I could get rid of him, because I know what that tank is capable of, but I don't need to do that because the Electo killed him. So I haven't been terribly effective so far. I've probably done around 400 damage, which is okay. It's not great. Like, I find usually if you don't do at least 800 to 1,000 damage in this tank a game, you're either on a map that's not very tank destroyer friendly, or you're not playing the tank right, because it's insane what you're able to do. Alright, so we've got the M4 here. I'm trying to get my gun depression so I can pop him. And which way is he going to go around? He's going to go around this way. And that one hit him in the turret, unfortunately for me. But the second one isn't going to be so lucky for him. So it's 10-10 now. And I've got 2 kills and managed to hold off that other flank. So I'm going to drop back and try and help the artillery and Excelsior on the tanks that are pushing in through the middle of the map. And I had a little bit of a brain fart there on which way I was going to take a round. At the end of the day, it really didn't matter too much. I just wanted to get back here so I could keep our Excelsior alive. That, I think, was artillery putting one into the VKH. And that was the Bishop killing or rising our entire team. He had 4 kills. So anyone who says that artillery is woe is me and it's so sad and they nerfed artillery so hard is complete horse shit. I don't know how many games I've seen where artillery has just been pinpoint accurate, sometimes getting top guns. Like, it's not even a question to me. So I pop out there, put a shot into that VK. Now he's a one-shot for sure. I'd have to roll extremely low for him to not die, but he gets killed. And the game's looking pretty garbagey now. Our AT2 is engaging both the Electo and the Bishop. So I head over this way to see if I can get a bead on one of these Su85s that might be coming through this side, because I don't really have a shot at either of the other two, but the other one pops up to my left, and I don't want him to kill the Arty, because he's really the only thing that's helping me at this point. But I'm going to be too slow to save him, and he dies. So this game didn't really have a real happy ending. So I shoot the Su85. And now I'm just going to wait for him to come around the corner. Now I'm completely by myself. Things couldn't really get too much worse than they are now, except for right now. Watch this. So he shoots and misses. So I blast him once. And now I think I'm dead. I'm going to die now. But that didn't happen. I stayed alive for a little bit longer, and before I could reload, I died. But in the end of the day, I was tier 4 in a tier 5 game, and I ended up doing about 1,300 damage and got 3 kills. So I don't feel bad because the majority of my team really didn't do anything. So we'll jump into another Su85b game, and you can see it in a little bit more successful light. And that one was on Monastery. Monastery. Here we go. Su85b, back with beautiful camo. Ooh. This tank doesn't look too bad with the new shaders and stuff on it on the 9.0 test server. Doesn't look amazing, but with the new lighting and stuff, it definitely looks better. Lighting and shading. In another tier 5 game. That's the nice thing about this tank is that you can be in a tier 5 game and you really don't have to be scared of being in a tier 5 game. I can be in a tier 6 game and this tank is still really great. And that's one of the nice things about tank destroyers. You are always a little bit more competitive just because you're upgunned for the most part. So I'm going to cover off the middle part of the map here. See if anyone's going to come down the middle. We've only got a Valentine coming up, so he'll get there eventually. Trundalundalund. Ouch. There goes the Panzer 1C. I'm just going to see if I can reorient my tank to see if I can get shots into this area. Doesn't look like I'm going to need to really shoot into there. Unfortunately for me, it looks like I picked the wrong area to shoot at. And eventually here I decide that this is not a good engagement for me right now, so I decide to move. So we'll speed it up. And I wait, and I wait, and I wait. Still waiting. But I didn't move. I thought I did move. I had to be pretty careful to not shoot our Valentine there, but I was able to put one into the Chihi. We'll speed up again. I did steadfastly watch the middle of the map here, which I maybe didn't need to quite as much. What I did see was the Type T-34 coming down, and for whatever reason, our Wolverine and this Matilda just didn't decide to turn around. So I'm going to come around, and I got lucky there that I didn't get shot. Well, I got shot there, and I don't want to take too many more shots from this guy. So I put another one into him, and then I back off, because I am close to being bacon juice now. Someone else takes up the T-34. I don't know how many of you have cats, but I have a really big, she's like 13-pound Himalayan cat. She's the best cat in the world. But when she goes to the bathroom, she doesn't cover up her poo in her litter box. And my entire apartment smells like poo right now. Not good, kitty cat. Ugh, I got a gag. Bad kitty. So we're winning 7-5, and I'm going to try not to pass out. Not sure if our team really needs help against this Panzer IV. We've got 4 tanks there to deal with them. It's time to relocate, see if I can shoot that Hetzer. Hello, Hetzer. Goodbye, Hetzer. Auf Wiedersehen. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Careful not to wreck my tank. I really like these purple flowers. You don't get to see these purple flowers for the most part with almost any other streamer that I can see, because most of the streamers I see, they turn off all the grass because it gives them a gameplay advantage. I think it looks ugly without the grass, and I had to play that way for a long time because my old iMac wasn't very fast. But my new computer, I can run with pretty much all the settings on, so I choose to handicap myself on purpose just because I like to play with all the graphics on. Whether I turn them on in the replay or I not turn them on in the replay, but I turn them on in gameplay because I think it looks a lot nicer to play. And it is kind of annoying that you can't see quite as well, but at the end of the day, it's okay. Oh, excuse me. So that Wolverine managed to wipe out our entire left flank. And the artillery did also quite a good job. So I pumped that Wolverine once, and he stops and starts reversing. Big mistake. Now there's only 2 tanks left, the Chihi and the Gorilla. And that Chihi is one of the tanks I shot right at the beginning of the match. And that pesky little artillery, this was 2 games in a row where I had artillery just blasting people. That's 4. Now I come up here and I don't see the Chihi anywhere, so I turn around, but I don't have good gun elevation. So I just tried to remember where that artillery was. So I just picked that bush there and fired. And he wasn't there, so I went to a little bit to the left and fired again. And that ended up killing him. He must have been a little bit pissed, but anytime you can kill artillery is a good day in my books. So, Su85, 4 kills, just about 1100 damage, and I wouldn't necessarily say that wasn't really a carry game, but being able to do that much damage in this tank is relatively, I mean, it's easy some games. It just seems to happen. Look at that. That T-34 put shots right through almost the same spot 3 times in a row. Good shooting by him. So we'll throw in one more bonus video with my Luchs that I had. It was a really quick game, and you can see how that does on, what's that, Erlenberg. Ugh. Here it is. My favorite scout tank in the game. Panzer IV Luchs. It's not a Panzer IV. What am I thinking? It's Panzer II? I don't remember what it's based on. Someone will write in the comments about how wrong I am. It's about the worst matchmaking that I can get. I'm in a tier 8 game. But honestly, that doesn't really scare me a whole lot, because a lot of tanks will just ignore me or take a speculative shot at me. No one really thinks I can do a lot of damage. And there was an ongoing yap fest in the chat about how useless my tank and the other light tanks were going to be in this game, which I thought was kind of funny, considering how well all the light tanks did in this game. The Luchs on my team did a decent job. Not as good as mine. And their 5916 actually did a really good job. So I spotted a few other tanks coming in. Not going to be too aggressive. And it doesn't really serve my purpose too much to sit up there, because I know the lion's share of the tanks are going to come in through this area here. This seems to be the new area where everyone fights on this map. If not here, no one goes into the middle of the map into this little lower village anymore, because these areas are still high enough that you can shoot down into them, so it doesn't really work out well. So what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to wait. I want these guys to get situated in where they are, so I can end up coming around, because I'm going to try and do a run through here and come around and flank these guys. And eventually I'd like to get somewhere back in here and find their artillery. But doing that at the beginning of the match is not a good idea. So you can see over here, this is their 5916. It looks like he's going completely ham. He's going to try and take out the T-29. And he's probably going to try and circle him. Which looks like it's going to turn out pretty well for him. He's just decided to drive around all those tanks. He shouldn't have lived that long. I'm not entirely sure why he is still alive at this point. He should probably be dead. But look at that. He's still at 95% health, and these guys can't hit him. And there's a T-29 there, KV-2. There's a Luchs chasing him around. There's something else right there. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's a T-32. Maybe a T-150. Look at that. He's still alive. And something set our KV-2 on fire, which was probably him. And boom. KV-2's down. He got killed by a Polish space marine. And it's at this point where I decide I'm going to go. Most of the tanks that have decided where they're going to be are where they're at. Except for this Tiger 88. He just decided to show up. Change flanks to try and help the other flank. It is a little bit late to try and do that, considering like when you see how many tanks we have here to how many tanks they have there. So I waited for a little bit longer. And I turned around to see if I could get another spot on the Tiger 88. And he wasn't on the bridge anymore, so I assumed that he had moved up. driving along. And I'm really happy at this point because this guy's no chance now. So pretty much I'm going to be able to drive up right behind him. Pump a whole clip into him. And keep this guy lit up for my team to shoot to pieces. He's going to try and drive into me. And that's fine. It's pretty much just going to lock him in place. He can push me around pretty easy though. One thing they've changed about the Luchs is it doesn't feel like it shoots quite as fast as it used to. So that's great. Another tank destroyer down. We're winning 8-5. And I've done a pretty good amount of damage. I'm not going to go engage that Type 59. They've killed that other already, so I know there's another one. And the chances are that he is probably somewhere in this area here. So I'm blasting along. And you'll be really surprised how close I need to get before I can spot this artillery. It's like dun 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 dun. Still haven't spotted him. Still haven't spotted him. I had to be within like 30 meters. And this is pretty much, this guy knows he's dead now. There's nothing he can do. I'm going to be reloaded in about 7 seconds. And kabamo. So it was a kill of my Luchs. Happy days. Now the only tanks left on the enemy team are over here. So the best thing I think I can do is try and get over here, give some lights to let everyone know where the rest of them are at. Our T-29 looks like he's getting swarmed. I'm not really going to be able to do too much to help him. I'm not going to go flying over that hill. I will go over here to this part, and that spots the T-150. And yep, now he's dead. A little bit of spotting damage there. No, there's only 2 of these tanks here, KV-13 and a T-34-2-3. Poke up. Don't see anything. It was kind of funny, kind of listening and watching to the chat that the 5916 and the other Luchs and the KV2 were having. And lucky me, KV-13 rear shots, and instead of playing to the end the T-34-3, he decided to drive into the river.